Coming up on AgweekTV, we're talking about carbon at the Evolution Ag Summit in Jamestown, North Dakota. Our AgWeek Livestock Tour continues with a look inside a new premier pig gene facility. And a new Minnesota program brings together farmers and the schools that want to serve their local grown food. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. This week we're at the Evolution Ag Summit in Jamestown, North Dakota. It's put on by the North Dakota Farmers Union and centered around carbon. It focused on how carbon reduction initiatives may shape agriculture and its markets. The event brought together agribusiness people along with farmers and ranchers to further understand the topic of carbon. Joining me now is Adam Dunlop from Harvest Stone. Adam, you are a speaker today at this event. What are some of the key points that you're talking about?
Yeah, thank you. I think that we're here today representing renewable fuels and biofuels at a conference is talking about much larger areas of sustainability. I think from my perspective, representing Harvest Stone and the renewable fuels industry, we really wanted to make a couple of key points about the sustainability of renewable fuels. To start off with, our business was built on renewable practices, creating a renewable fuel that competes against more traditional hydrocarbon-based fuels.
There has been a lot of buzz surrounding the word carbon in the ag industry. Do you think there's going to continue to be an interest in carbon?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're really just on the precipice of folks in agriculture being able to monetize good stewardship practices. I think renewable fuels, we've been kind of the outlet for those good renewable low carbon crops since the renewable fuel standard came out in 2007. But I think the world is becoming more interested and it's becoming more dynamic, and there's multitude of opportunities. I think biofuels and renewable fuels are probably the most proven, top of the list, and probably create the most value today. But I think there's other opportunities that are being driven by ESG and other protocols, investment decisions, and kind of following the money train for where agribusiness gets their resources in terms of fiduciary injections into those operations. And the more sustainable their practices are, the more capital that they've got available to them.
Well, it is certainly going to be an interesting market to follow. Thank you so much for joining us today, Adam.
Thank you for having me.
Adam Dunlop. Jenny Schleck met with another panelist and has more.
Thanks, Emily. Joining me now is Don Martin, a Beulah area rancher and one of the panelists at today's event. Don, tell me a little bit about your operation.
We're a commercial cow-calf operation. We also raise and train ranch horses, so that's what we do.
All right. Today's all about carbon. So talk a little bit about some of the conservation practices that you've put in place there in Beulah.
We do a rotational grazing program, which is something that we've done for many, many years. I mean, there's just a lot of added benefit to that, to us as well as to the soil health. And then we also have done a minimum till, no-till, minimal till on our cropping systems that is basically just for our cattle graze, or for our feed base. And then we also do some cover crops.
So what are you looking to get out of today's event?
Honestly, just to get some more ideas, to kind of network with more producers and people in the industries, and also look to see if there's some value that we can get out of the things that we already do, or if there's something new that we can do.
And that's a big topic from all of the presentations we've heard, is how do we make this worthwhile to farmers and ranchers? And you also work with soil conservation. So how are some ways that you see getting people on the farms and ranch to incorporate some of these principles that works?
So, first of all, I think you have to show that it's going to have some value to their operation. Obviously, monetary helps, but having value to their own operation be more beneficial. Farmers and ranchers, we are on the ground wanting to make sure that our climate is as sustainable as it can be.
Thank you for joining us today, Don.
The American Sugar Beet Growers Association's new Vice President for Science and Innovation admits he doesn't have much experience with sugar beets, but he has spent 25 years in ag science. And Nick Storer plans to put that experience to work for sugar beet growers. He started his new job in January. He comes to it after working for companies including Dow Argo Sciences and Corteva on science issues like BT and GMO crops, as well as regulatory issues related to crop protection. Storer says he's anxious to put new technology to work for the sugar beet industry.
The new innovations that are being developed within agriculture and even outside agriculture that have agricultural applications are tremendous and growing rapidly, and we need to be able to use those new technologies, those new ideas that researchers have, and figure out how to apply those to U.S. beet production.
We caught up with Storer recently at the American Sugar Beet Growers Association's annual meeting in Orlando, Florida. A series of matchmaking sessions are bringing farmers and schools together. 6 farm-to-school roadshows are being held across Minnesota to help introduce producers to schools, hospitals, and other institutions that serve food. This one was in Rochester earlier this month. Kate Siebold is the Farm-to-Institution Coordinator for the Minnesota Ag Department. She says it's important for those who buy food for schools and other institutions that want to incorporate more locally produced food to meet the farmers they can buy directly from. The roadshows are free and sponsored by Renewing the Countryside, Minnesota Department of Agriculture and Education, and U of M Extension. Up next on AgweekTV, our livestock tour continues. We'll give you a look inside a new state-of-the-art boar stud facility.
My name is Dawn, and this is my husband, Trent. I've been ranching ever since I was a little girl.
And I married into it.
We believe that if you take care of your land, it will give back to you into your future generations. We value the helpfulness of finding the information and guidance we need in one place. Thankfully, the Dakota Legacy Initiative can provide just that for us. Visit DakotaLegacyInitiative.com for more information.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
Built in North Dakota and delivered across the Midwest, every Pinky home is a custom home, designed for your family, built by ours. And with our on-site lumberyard and generations of experience, we can help build the home of your dreams without breaking your budget. Build something that lasts. Build with Pinky Homes. Get to know us and see all of your customization options at pinkyhomes.com.
A farmer's work is never done. You're not just planting a seed or harvesting a crop, you're growing a legacy. When you're up before dawn and out long past dusk, you need a banker who will work with your schedule, not the other way around. At Choice, we do banking differently, giving farmers like you time back to focus on what really matters. Choice Bank, top North Dakota Ag Bank for 10 years running, and always people first.
The AgWeek Livestock Tour is brought to you by Linskov Ranch and Stockman's Livestock Exchange.
Our livestock tour continues this week. We visit Black Hills Land Stewards in Whitewood, South Dakota. They're working to raise quality sheep while also finding ways to better track and improve sheep genetics.
Jeff Clark moved from California to western South Dakota a few years ago. and this past year has begun raising sheep on his operation.
So we are a purebred registered Targhee flock here.
During his time in California, Clark managed a large flock of commercial sheep, and by doing that, he noticed that the sheep industry was lacking in methods to select genetic traits for their herds. They were able to breed for frame size and wool quality, but there were other areas that were insufficient.
So I talk about wool quality and frame size. That's great. You know, we get paid by the pound. However, there are things that are very important that we were not able to select off of pre-collected data points.
Those traits include everything from fertility, stayability, and efficiency. After moving to South Dakota, Clark started his own small sheep herd, where he is focused on tracking genetics.
How we're going to do this is by actually building our own proprietary index. That's going to be a ewe profitability index. It's going to take into account everything from the actual maintenance requirements, from feed intake testing the ewes to the progeny, feed efficiency and production, pull that back to fleece weight and pounds weaned, per ewe. So we're taking all those production records back and building a background index on all of our ewes in order to properly rank them for all of the economically relevant traits.
His goal is to have a program that is not focused on single trait selection, but rather is focused on raising well-rounded animals.
We want the highest grossing product per pound maintained, but most importantly, per dollar of input. And so that's really the direction of our program. And we know that it will put, more money in our pocket and more money in the producers' pockets that acquire our genetics.
Along with the sheep, the Clarks also raise a handful of beef cattle for direct-to-consumer beef sales. We now travel to Staples, Minnesota, where a new boar stud facility has welcomed its first batch of eligible bachelors this month. We give you a look inside in this week's AgWeek cover story. The state-of-the-art facility is considered the Fort Knox of hog operations, as it takes cleanliness to the next level. We were allowed inside before it opened. The company is called Pig Genes. It's designed to house a healthy herd of hogs and produce high-quality semen for hog producers. Chase Stahl, who is a veterinarian and partner in the business, says there are many layers of water treatment, air filtration, and sanitization practiced by staff, who all work together to make it efficient and effective. Only staff following strict biosecurity measures are allowed in. Stahl says the issue is that semen is very sensitive. It needs to maintain a certain temperature and has a finite life and is susceptible to disease.
So the whole goal of this facility is to make semen. Most of it is going to go downstream to commercial farms. The whole goal there is to make piglets.
The semen will be shipped to locations across Minnesota, Iowa, and South Dakota. You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Water quality plays a vital role in raising healthy livestock. It is the #1 nutrient for cattle, so having access to clean, fresh water is key to raising successful livestock. A common problem in South Dakota is high sulfates in the water. Not only does this hurt cattle performance, but it can also cause severe health concern in those livestock. So it's important to have your cattle water tested regularly.
One of the biggest things is sulfur-induced polioencephalomalacia. And with that, cattle actually can suffer some neurological effects and death can come after that. And that's a pretty silent thing. You'll really only be seeing it towards the end when they start showing symptoms.
There are varying water conditions at every operation. Kevin Vanderwall, manager of the SDSU Cow-Calf Education and Research Facility, noted big differences when he transitioned from well water to rural water on his pastures.
And it's hard to quantify, but you can just see it in the hair coats, weaning weights be improved, conception rates, the preg rate in the fall. Just everything goes up, so it's an investment that you certainly recoup.
SDSU has equipment to conduct research on water quality. However, that research has not yet taken place.
Coming up on AgweekTV, we'll take you to Finley, North Dakota to celebrate FFA Week.
Do you have nutrient deficiency issues? We can help. Let's talk.
Spray Advantage is a full-line, full-service dealer with everything you need for fertilizer and chemical applications, like electronics from Microtrack and Raven, pumps by Banjo and John Blue, a full line of poly parts, tanks, and spray tips. We support the equipment we sell with factory-trained service technicians and a well-stocked parts department. It's our commitment to offer you quality products at competitive prices with the best financing options available. Spray Advantage, proudly serving North Dakota and Minnesota.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Looking to add non-GMO conventional and organic soybeans to your rotation this year? Soyco International out of Gary, Minnesota is looking for new farmer contracts for the 2023 season. They have proven marketing strategies, partnered with local agronomy expertise to work alongside and provide the certified seeds needed for their contract growers. Soyco International is offering premium prices to boost your operations' bottom line. Reach out to Sean Young today at 218-350-3863 to answer any questions.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk. AgWeek weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
As February comes to a close, how will the weather fare? Here's Dawn with our AgriWeather Outlook.
General outlook over the next couple of weeks, which is mostly into the month of March. Lo and behold, the weather starting to act a little bit like spring already, and it does appear that much of the northern Great Plains, upper Midwest, corn bean belt, northern wheat belt, it's looking like spring will come fairly early this year. Now, that is good and bad. It does leave concerns about expanding drought. When you warm things up quickly, you also start drying things up quickly. Now, March is coming, and March weather can be quite volatile. It can be very stormy, and there likely will be some big storms, even in the next couple of weeks. But location is everything, and whether or not those storms are able to generate heavy precipitation in the right areas. We'll see. Right now, I'm not necessarily seeing that much of that. Here's the pattern right now, and we've got the polar jet stream going pretty far north, which keeps frigid weather locked way in up the north. We are going to experience a pretty strong cold front early in the week, which will drive some very cold weather, but it doesn't look like it's going to last very long, and it's only going to be freezing. We'll leave the really frigid stuff behind, and it looks like by the middle of this week, we're back to not that cold in the northern plains. The cold weather will not penetrate very much down south, although this activity could lead to some stormy weather, which I'll show you in just a moment. By the end of the week, very mild weather will be building northward once again into the northern plains. This little narrow belt of orange numbers, I think, will be readings getting up around or above 70 degrees. And some of these will be even perhaps into the 70s, approaching 80. Really hot weather will stay way down in the lower latitudes for the time being. The second week, which becomes the first full week of March, we're still seeing jet stream pretty far north. I do anticipate some troughiness along the west coast, and the caveat to that, I think you will probably see the potential for quite a bit of wet weather along the west coast, although this is the rainy season, February and March out in California. They're certainly getting more than their share this year. That system may eventually eject a weather system out into the plains. Again, the caveat though, this is March weather, and March weather is volatile, and it's also difficult predict long term. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But as we go through about the 9th, 10th of March, it looks like overall, except for maybe the northern Rockies and the Northwest, fairly mild weather pattern. Okay, this first week, getting us into the first couple of days of March, wet along the West Coast. There will be some snow coming out into the plains, but the heaviest system will be here, and it's going to be on the eastern end of the Court Belt. This snow trailing off to not that heavy. And then the second full week of March is right now looking drier for the northern plains region. A little stormy in the south, and the West Coast in particular looks wet. Northern plains, not so much.
At Vatterstad, we're partnering with North American farmers to create the perfect emergence. We're doing this with new and innovative tillage, planting, and seeding solutions, optimized for the field conditions that you face, and with industry-leading capacities to help you get the job done in short windows of time, so you can maximize yields. Vatterstad, we look forward to growing together.
A farmer's work is never done. You're not just planting a seed or harvesting a crop, you're growing a legacy. When you're up before dawn and out long past dusk, you need a banker who will work with your schedule, not the other way around. At Choice, we do banking differently, giving farmers like you time back to focus on what really matters. Choice Bank, top North Dakota Ag Bank for 10 years running, and always people first.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single healthcare, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
Spray Advantage is a full-line, full-service dealer with everything you need for fertilizer and chemical applications, like electronics from Microtrack and Raven, pumps by Banjo and John Blue, a full line of poly parts, tanks, and spray tips. We support the equipment we sell with factory-trained service technicians and a well-stocked parts department. It's our commitment to offer you quality products at competitive prices with the best financing options available. Spray Advantage, proudly serving North Dakota and Minnesota.
This was National FFA Week, and many chapters around the country took part in the week-long festivities. Katie Pinky visited a North Dakota school where almost every student is a member.
We're here at Finley Sharon High School in rural North Dakota, where 28 of 37 students, grades 7 through 12, are enrolled in agriculture education and the FFA program.
FFA is huge here. All of our kids pretty much are involved in the FFA. We're always winning awards.
It's clear Finley Sharon High School principal Neil Race is proud of his school's FFA chapter. Ag education is required for 8th, 9th, and 10th graders, and he says it adds much to the school and the town.
Our FFA does so much for the community too. You've probably seen this FFA week, so they're reading to the kids and they're doing a lot of other projects. She'll have a cleanup day. They help with the Finley days. They run a lot of things.
It is very important to engage your community and the whole school because the elementary are my future FFA members.
Marita Ehrman is in her 9th year of teaching at Finley Sharon High School.
The biggest reward of building my program here or continuing the program that was here before is just seeing the kids be successful. And it's not necessarily being successful in class or in FFA, but taking what they learned in class and actually applying it and seeing what careers that they get out of it and how well they do in college.
Students say being involved in FFA is an important part of their education.
I love how we get to go to different schools and we really get to, it's just a great experience.
No, I think anyone can be an ag. You don't have to live on a farm, it's for everyone.
From Finley, North Dakota, this is Katie Pinky for Ag Week.
The first FFA Week was celebrated in 1948. still ahead from the Evolution Ag Summit in Jamestown, North Dakota. We'll meet some women who say their background in ag prepared them for success off the farm.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service. All controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
North Dakota's conservation agencies have joined forces to better serve producers and landowners. The Dakota Legacy Initiative brings conservation resources together in one easy-to-navigate website. Easily find programs, events, technical assistance, and educational materials most relevant to you. Come see where collaborative conservation begins. Learn more at dakotalegacyinitiative.com.
At Vanderstad, we're partnering with North American farmers to create the perfect emergence. We're doing this with new and innovative tillage, planting, and seeding solutions, optimized for the field conditions that you face, and with industry-leading capacities to help you get the job done in short windows of time, so you can maximize yields. Vanderstad, we look forward to growing together.
Farming is more than a career. It's a lifestyle, a calling, and a badge of honor. That's why it's important to have a banking partner who doesn't just understand the farming industry, they understand your farm. At Bremer Bank, we've spent more than 80 years working side by side with farmers like you to help you invest in and grow your operation. Season after season, from one generation to the next.
It's no surprise that kids raised on farms or ranches tend to grow up and have a strong work ethic. For these women, their backgrounds in ag prepared them well to run their own businesses, even outside the ag industry.
Coming from a background like that affects my entrepreneurship now is because I, grew up seeing my dad in the field, coming home late nights. I would go with my mom to feed the 15 hired men. And so it's like we would always have late nights, and I'd always see my dad, my older brother, working hard and working towards their dream. And so I feel like that inspired me as a business owner to kind of work hard towards my dreams.
I think starting this business was probably a bit more challenging than I anticipated, just with all the red tape and the things we had to jump through. And I think growing up, on a ranch, there's just work that has to be done. No matter what, you just have to do it. And I think it kind of taught me to keep pushing through and to not give up through those obstacles.
The women were just a few of the over 300 vendors showcasing their products at the Black Hills Stock Show and Rodeo this year. Thanks for joining us this week from the Evolution Ag Summit in Jamestown, North Dakota. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.